Okay, today we're going to be going over some basic fingerstyle patterns for guitar. The thumb is typically labeled as P, the index as I, the middle as M, and the ring as A. We're not going to be using the pinky today, although some classical guitarists and flamenco guitarists use the pinky in special techniques such as rasgueos, rasgueados, but we're not going to be getting into that today. So for our first example, we're going to be planting all of our fingers on the middle strings. So we're not going to be using either E string. We're going to be on the A, the D, G, and B. And this is going to be, for most of the pattern, we're going to be using this position, but the thumb is going to be going up and down from the A string to the E string, depending on the chord. Okay, so let's check out this first example. We have our typical C chord. We're just going through the fingers, P, I, M, A. Then we let go to have our A minor 7th chord. Very basic, same pattern. So we're not moving anything yet. But once we get to the next chord, the G, which we can play by only using one finger, we're going to move the thumb to the E string. And then same thing for the next two chords. Then you let go for the final open E or the E minor 7th. Okay, and that's the first pattern. So here it is again. And then you can repeat from there. So I would recommend practicing all of these with a metronome, but first you want to just get it under your fingers, and you can practice just kind of doing the pattern without any chords at first. Just kind of going through the strings, getting used to that. You should be moving the joints from right here, okay? So whenever you pluck the string, you don't want to move your hand too much. You want to move each individual finger as you pluck. All right, let's get into the second pattern. It's almost the same thing. We're just going to change the order of our three fingers. The thumb is still going to start, but then we're going to go to the ring and then backwards. So it's going to be P, A, M, I. Okay, so the chords are going to stay the same throughout all these patterns. So let's try this one out. And then you would repeat again. Okay, so almost exactly the same as the first one. It's just going in a different direction. All right, let's jump into the third example. Now this one gets a little bit more complicated as we're going in a kind of a crisscross pattern almost. Okay, so what's happening here is we're going with the thumb first, P, and then your middle finger, and then I, and then A. Okay, so let's try this one out. Okay, so notice again that thumb is the only finger that's going to be moving. It's going to be moving to the E string for the second half of each one of these patterns. So what determines that is the root of the chord. If the root of the chord is on the A string, you typically have your thumb on the A string. But if the root of the chord is on the E string, you're going to move it down to the E string. And in some cases, you can even alternate the thumb. But we're not going to be doing that today. We're going to keep it simple and just play the root of the chord with the thumb. Okay, so now for our final example. This one gets a bit challenging because we have to hit two strings at once. So to do this, you're basically going to have to pluck with the thumb downward and pluck inward with the ring finger at the same time. So this is going to be the A string and the B string simultaneously. Okay, so you kind of have this grabbing motion in your right hand. Okay, and then from there, you're going to continue on with the pattern. Okay, so that's I, M, I. So you grab the two outer fingers and then I, M, I. And it sounds like this. Okay, and again, you can repeat. So with all of these patterns, we're going through them really slowly, but you can speed them up to however fast you want to play them. And they're all eighth notes. Okay, so whenever you're playing eighth notes, you're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Typically, you want to have the metronome set to quarter notes. So the metronome is going to be clicking 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to be playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? And of course, you want to start with a slow tempo, maybe 70, 75 BPM, and then start gradually speeding up until you get it to a speed that sounds good. And all of these patterns will sound good with different chords at different tempos as well. So you can try them out. And all the techniques that we're going over today are very basic fingerstyle techniques. They'll work in a various, or pretty much any fingerstyle genre. So that can be classical, flamenco, country, bossa nova, anything really. These are all just very basic patterns just to get you used to moving your fingers through the strings. Okay, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, please check out my Patreon where I'll have a PDF for this video and backing tracks and all kinds of good stuff. So check that out. Thanks for watching.